On the very edge of the Greek world, carved by Alexander the Great through his conquests, right at the border between the Middle East and India, lay the Bactrian kingdom, the last Hellenistic bastion before the unknown Far East. It was a distant land, far away from the power dynamics of the larger Greek world, but it was a Greek kingdom nonetheless. And as any good Greek kingdom did, they struck marvelous coins. So today, let's take a look into the history of Bactria and look at some of its coins. Let's go! But before jumping on coins, we need a little bit of a context. The region of Bactria is located in Central Asia, around modern-day Afghanistan and Uzbekistan. During the 6th century BC, the area was subjugated by the Achaemenid Empire and incorporated as a satrapy. This region received an important number of Greeks deported from their native regions throughout the years of Persian rule, and this generated this very unusual phenomena, a region far away from the Greek traditional territories close to the Mediterranean with a high degree of Hellenization. These displaced Greeks must have brought to the region with them the tradition of making commerce using coins. This actually leads us to the first coin of the day. From the 6th to the 4th centuries BC, the Athenian owl was one of the most widely accepted coins for international commerce. It had good silver, it had good weight, and a fantastic reputation. And this good fame resulted on multiple imitative types being issued, including this one, attributed to the region of Bactria. So this piece is dated from between 400 and 330 BC, so during the period when Bactria was a satrapy under the Achaemenids. And what a beautiful thing it is. As we can see on the obverse, Athena is depicted in this very unique style, with a rounder face and curly hair. You can see it's an imitation, but it's still very well made. All of the details from the original are there, from the crest and the decorations on the helmet, all the way to the necklace on Athena. Generally, the imitative types are crude looking, but the Bactrian ones achieved something quite nice. On the reverse, just like in the original piece, we have the owl, an olive branch, a moon, and the letters Alpha, Theta, Epsilon of Athenaion, or from the Athenians. It's interesting to see that a coin coming from Bactria claims it comes from Athens. Our little owl here looks quite scared, but all in all, it's a very charming coin. And so how about a mini owl? For smaller transactions, we have our next coin. This is a drachma, a single drachma, so worth a quarter of the previous coin, but still made of silver. And on the obverse, it is exactly what we would expect. We have a smaller version of the same Athena. But as we go to the reverse, we have a different design. This time, we see an eagle. Why was this animal chosen instead of an owl? Well, we can only stipulate. Considering the region was still a satrapy of the Persian king at the time, this could very well be a nod to the Achaemenid King of Kings, as the eagle was one of his main symbols. Coins were a very serious symbol of sovereignty, and depicting imagery that would please your sovereign was definitely of good taste. But as Alexander rolled in and defeated the Achaemenids in a swooping victory, the region would be left on a power vacuum, which would quickly be filled by Alexander's successors. The Seleucid Empire was established, and it took the easternmost territories of Alexander, and its new king, Seleucus I, would absorb Bactria as another province. And as a new province, they were quickly instructed to mint coins for their new Greek rulers. For our next piece, we have a drachma, struck in the name of Seleucus' son, Antiochus I, between 290 and 285 BC. The mint is attributed to a city called Alexandria Arachosia, one of the many Alexandrias founded by Alexander as he traveled east during his conquests. On the obverse we have the stylized bust of Seleucus, wearing a helmet. This is a commemorative coin celebrating Seleucus and Antiochus' conquests. I'm putting up on the screen what a similar piece would look like. The crude style in this coin probably indicates that this was a new mint, and the engravers do not truly get how to copy the portrait style of their new masters, but still, a very charming coin. When we head to the reverse, we're presented with Nike, the goddess of victory, erecting a military trophy made out of the weapons and armor of the defeated opponents. Around the design, although in this case we can't see it due to the small font size, we would read Basileus Antiocho, or of King Antiochus. So, let's head to our next coin. Although it looks a bit rough, it is attributed to an important ruler of the region, Sophites. The historical records are a bit murky on who Sophites was. On some records, he's mentioned as the ruler of Bactria before Alexander, surrendering to him and being allowed by Alexander to retain his position, although as a vassal. Some other sources claim that there was another Sophites who also ruled Bactria under the Seleucids. That is why for this coin, an oboe, so a sixth of a drachma, I'm going to put two possible timelines, either between 320 and 300 BC or 290 and 280 BC. Numismatists tend to believe the later date is more likely. As we can see when we head to the obverse, we see that the bust here is very similar to the previous coin I've shown you, struck by Seleucus, where we see his bust wearing a helmet, so this military bust of Seleucus, and nothing really connecting it to Alexander. On the reverse we have quite a unique design, a cockerel. Such an unusual animal to find on a coin, but it appears every now and then on Seleucid coinage. Apart from the cockerel, we have a mint mark of a caduceus, the symbol of commerce, and some short legends making reference to Sophites. We can read Sophito, or from Sophites. Quite a bold move of his part to strike a coin claiming his own name instead of his sovereign. And finally, to celebrate Bactria's independence, how about some gold? Around the mid-3rd century BC, the Seleucids started losing grasp of their further satrapies, and a local ruler, Diodotus, declared himself independent without the Seleucids being able to do much about it. So he made himself Diodotus I Soter, or Savior. This coin is dated between 255 and 250 BC. During Diodotus' reign, Bactria saw its highest point of prosperity, with the region being so highly urbanized, some texts call it the land of the 1,000 cities. As we can see on the obverse, we have this very pretty bust of Diodotus, now with the royal diadem symbolizing he was an independent king. Someone must have felt a bit suspicious of the coin, however. As we can see, there's a test cut, which actually shows the coin is made out of good solid gold up to its core. The reverse is also lovely. We're greeted by Zeus, looking almighty, wearing nothing but some drapery over his shoulders and casting his famous lightning bolt as he points to his target. We also have a little eagle by his feet, the animal that symbolized him. Also, curiously, instead of any mention to Diodotus proper, here we have the legends Basileus Antiocho, or of King Antiochus, making a reference to Antiochus II, the current Seleucid monarch. This is where numismatic speculation comes into place. Maybe this particular piece was struck just before the break with the Seleucids? Maybe the decision was taken to not change the iconography on the coin immediately as to ease the potential political tensions this could cause? It's interesting to make guesses, but it's a really cool case of a quote-unquote rebel king issuing coins in the name of his old sovereign. And to finish it off, a spectacular piece, this huge tetradrachma struck between 171 and 145 BC. Eucratides, was the last great Bactrian king. Under him, the kingdom still lived prosperous years, and he was responsible for very successful campaigns against his neighbors. After him, the kingdom would enter in decadence and fall to nomadic tribes. So on the obverse, we can see this very well sculpted bust of Eucratides, wearing the royal diadem, and we can also see he wears a military cloak, a hint to the population that he was ready to defend them. These were turbulent times. This is such an impressive coin. To think that they were so far away from the wider Greek world, yet their coinage would not look out of place in the pouch of a Mediterranean merchant. We then head to the even more impressive reverse. We have a mythological scene here. We see Castor and Pollux, the two divine twins, racing each other. They are fully geared for battle, carrying their long cavalry lance, and as a nice detail, Bactrian cavalrymen were said to carry palm fronds tied to their backs into battle. And as we can see here, Castor and Pollux also have little palm branches tied to their backs. A really nice little detail showing a small detail of national identity. The entire region of Central Asia is this incredible melting pot of cultures that generated an incredible numismatic legacy. I'll definitely try to explore this region's coinage more in the future. But now, I want to hear from you. Have you got any Bactrian coins? Let us know in the comment section down below. I hope you all enjoyed another episode. Leave a like if you did. Happy collecting, and I'll see you soon.